Emma Carter, a 28-year-old from a quiet Ohio town, had spent years dreaming of a once-in-a-lifetime trip to London, a city that sparkled in her imagination with its rich history, vibrant culture, and iconic landmarks like Buckingham Palace. After scrimping and saving, she finally stepped onto British soil, her heart brimming with anticipation, ready to soak in every moment of what was meant to be a perfect vacation. But that dream took an unexpected turn on a sunny day in front of Buckingham Palace. Standing just feet from the Golden Gates, Emma's eyes locked onto a royal guard horse, a towering black stallion named Orion, his coat gleaming like polished bronze. What started as a simple urge to snap a closer photo spiraled into a reckless impulse. In a split-second decision, she reached for the stirrup and tried to climb aboard. Chaos erupted. Orion reared, hooves slicing the air, and Emma crashed to the pavement, pain shooting through her side. The crowd gasped, guards rushed in, and her dream trip shattered into a moment she'd never forget. Yet, from this misstep, a bigger story was about to unfold. One of grit, growth, and second chances. Emma Carter's trip to London had been a dream years in the making, but it was in front of Buckingham Palace that her story took a dramatic turn. Standing amidst the bustling crowd, she couldn't resist the pull of a royal guard horse, a majestic black stallion named Orion, whose presence radiated British tradition and strength. His sleek coat shimmered under the sun, and his calm, regal demeanor seemed to invite her closer. At first, it was just an innocent thought, a quick photo to capture the moment. Emma's heart raced as she edged nearer, her camera in hand, whispering to herself, "Just one picture." She brushed Orion's mane, a fleeting thrill coursing through her, but then, in a moment of unchecked impulse, she lifted her foot into the stirrup. What followed was pure chaos. Orion reared back, his powerful hooves cutting through the air, and the crowd erupted in gasps. Emma lost her grip and tumbled to the ground, her body slamming against the pavement with a sickening thud. Pain seared through her ribs and wrist, but it paled next to the burning humiliation as onlookers stared, their phones recording every second. Guards sprang into action, their faces a mix of anger and concern, one barking, "Stay down, miss," as he knelt beside her. Dazed and trembling, Emma caught Orion's gaze, his dark eyes meeting hers with no trace of malice, only a quiet understanding that deepened her guilt. She'd disrupted his peace, and now she lay at the center of a storm she hadn't seen coming. Bruised ribs and a sprained wrist were the least of it. The weight of her reckless choice sank in, marking a moment that would redefine her trip, and perhaps her life, forever. Emma Carter's tumble in front of Buckingham Palace could have been just another tourist blunder, a fleeting headline about a young American who got too close to a royal guard horse. But her story, sparked by that chaotic moment, stretches far beyond a simple misstep. It's a tale woven with resilience, unexpected connections, and the quiet power of second chances, unfolding into an emotional journey that lingers long after the crowd's gasps fade. When Emma, a 28-year-old dreamer from Ohio, tried to mount Orion, the majestic black stallion, she didn't just fall to the pavement, she fell into a storm of consequences that tested her spirit. The physical pain of bruised ribs and a sprained wrist was sharp, but the humiliation stung deeper, amplified by the whispers of onlookers and the viral spread of her mistake across social media. Lying in a London hospital bed, thousands of miles from home, she felt the weight of isolation, her dream vacation unraveling into a nightmare she couldn't escape. Yet, this wasn't the end. It was a beginning. A small bouquet of flowers arrived with a note. "Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is what you do next." Those words from an unknown friend lit a spark of hope in her darkened world. They hinted at a path forward, one she hadn't dared to imagine amid the shame. This wasn't just about a tourist's folly. It was about a young woman facing her impulsiveness head-on, learning to rise from the ashes of her own choices. The story shifts as Emma meets Sarah, a stable worker who saw her fall and reached out, offering not judgment, but a chance to heal alongside Orion, the very horse she'd startled. Together, they built trust, step by step, transforming a moment of recklessness into a lesson in patience and strength. For every reader, it's a mirror to our own lives. Those times we've stumbled, felt the sting of regret, and wondered if redemption was possible. Emma's journey isn't just hers. It's a universal call to reflect on how far we'd go to make things right, proving that even the worst mistakes can lead to something beautiful if we're brave enough to try again. Emma Carter wasn't just any tourist standing in front of Buckingham Palace that fateful day. She was a dreamer with a story rooted deep in the heart of a small Ohio town. Growing up, she'd spent countless hours lost in her imagination, gazing out her bedroom window at the flat, familiar landscape, her mind drifting to faraway places. London always topped her list, a city that shimmered in her thoughts with its centuries-old history, vibrant culture, and iconic landmarks like Big Ben and the Golden Gates of Buckingham Palace. As a child, she'd flip through library books, tracing the outlines of the Tower Bridge with her finger, picturing herself walking its streets one day. That dream wasn't a whim. It was a quiet fire that burned through her youth, fueled by a longing to explore a world beyond the cornfields and corner stores of home. By 28, after years of pinching pennies from her modest job, Emma finally turned that vision into reality, booking her ticket to London with a promise to herself. She'd make every moment count. Standing before Buckingham Palace, she felt like she'd stepped into one of those old books, the sun glinting off the gates, the royal guard horses standing tall, their coats polished to a bronze sheen. It was a postcard come to life, and her heart raced with the thrill of it all. That's what made her next move so poignant. The impulse to get closer to Orion, the black stallion, wasn't just a tourist's curiosity. It was the culmination of a lifetime of yearning, a need to touch the magic she'd dreamed of since she was a girl. When she fell, it wasn't just a fall from a horse. It was a stumble from the pedestal of her own aspirations, setting the stage for a journey she never expected. Emma Carter's attempt to climb aboard Orion, the towering black stallion of the Royal Guard, was more than a fleeting act of recklessness. It was a pivotal moment that reshaped her London adventure and, quite possibly, her entire life. Standing in front of Buckingham Palace, she'd been swept up in the awe of the scene, the golden gates catching the sunlight, the horse's sleek coat gleaming like bronze, his calm presence a living emblem of British tradition. Her heart pounded as she snapped photos, but the urge for something more, a tangible piece of the magic, overtook her. "Just one quick picture," she whispered, brushing Orion's mane, her excitement drowning out caution. Then, in a heartbeat, she lifted her foot into the stirrup and everything unraveled. Orion reared, hooves slashing the air, and Emma crashed to the pavement, her body jolted by a sickening thud. Pain ripped through her ribs and wrist, later diagnosed as bruises and a sprain. But the real wound was the humiliation that burned in her chest as the crowd stared, their phones immortalizing her fall. Guards rushed in, one kneeling beside her with a firm, "Stay down, miss," his stern face softening just enough to hint at concern. As paramedics wheeled her away, Emma caught Orion's gaze, his dark eyes steady, carrying no anger, only a quiet understanding that pierced her with guilt. In the hospital, 4,000 miles from Ohio, the physical injuries paled next to the emotional toll. Alone in a sterile room, her phone buzzing with notifications she couldn't face, she replayed the moment endlessly, cringing at her impulsiveness. What was I thinking, she wondered, drowning in regret? But then, a small bouquet of flowers arrived, a nurse's warm smile breaking through her haze. The note read, "Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is what you do next. Unsigned, from a mysterious friend, it was a lifeline, a whisper of hope that this fall wasn't her story's end. That single act of kindness marked the true pivot, from a dream vacation shattered by a misstep to a journey of redemption, where Emma would learn that even the hardest falls could lead to unexpected strength. Emma Carter's story begins with a stumble, literally and figuratively, but it quickly deepens into an emotional journey that strikes a chord with anyone who's ever faced a moment of regret. When the 28-year-old Ohio native tried to mount Orion, a royal guard horse in front of Buckingham Palace, she didn't just fall to the ground. She plunged into a whirlwind of consequences that tested her resilience. The physical pain of bruised ribs and a sprained wrist was sharp, but the humiliation, captured by a gasping crowd and amplified online, cut deeper, leaving her isolated in a London hospital bed 4,000 miles from home. Her dream trip, built on years of small-town daydreams, seemed to crumble under the weight of that impulsive choice. Yet, as she lay there, a small bouquet of flowers arrived with a note. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is what you do next. That simple gesture from an unknown sender pierced her despair with a glimmer of hope, turning a personal low into a universal question. How do we rise after a fall? Emma's tale isn't just about her, it's a mirror for us all. Who hasn't acted rashly, felt the sting of judgment, or longed to rewind time? Her journey unfolds with raw emotion, the trembling excitement of touching Orion's mane, the gut punch of public shame, the quiet relief of a stranger's kindness. It's this depth that hooks readers, pulling them through her pain and into her redemption as she bonds with Orion and finds strength she didn't know she had. For anyone who's wrestled with their own missteps, Emma's path, messy, human, and ultimately uplifting, offers a relatable echo, inviting us to ponder how far we'd go to make things right, and reminding us that even our worst moments can lead to something meaningful. Life has a way of throwing us off balance, even in our later years. Emma Carter's story, a young woman who stumbled spectacularly yet rose again, offers a powerful lesson. Our mistakes don't have to be our legacy. At 40, 50, or beyond, we've all had moments we'd rather forget. Words we wish we could take back. Choices that haunt us. But like Emma, who turned a humiliating fall into a journey of growth, we too can find redemption. It's not about erasing the past. It's about what we do next. A kind word from a stranger, a chance to try again. These small openings can change everything. For us older folks, this might mean mending a broken bond, picking up a long-lost hobby, or simply forgiving ourselves. Emma's bond with Orion, the horse she once wronged, shows that healing often comes from unexpected places. So, take heart. Your stumbles don't define you. Your courage to stand up does. No matter your age, there's still time to rewrite your story with grace and strength.